Hey boys and girls, this is Miss Super with a refresher video on dividing using the standard algorithm strategy. This is the traditional strategy that your parents and grandparents may have learned when they were in school. It's actually the only strategy that they probably learned when they were in school, so they're most familiar with this one and more than likely prefer this one over the other ones you've learned. And some of you may prefer this one over the other strategies we've learned so far, and that is perfectly fine. This is the strategy that I and Miss Anderson and Miss Starnes and Miss Beatball learned when we were in school. So we tend to like this one as well. But let's get to it and refresh our minds. So with this strategy, I have written DMSCB at the top. And I wrote them in a particular order because this is just a little clue that you could write down on the side of your paper when you're doing traditional division that will remind you what step comes next. And I like doing a little check off as I do the steps. So let's get started and see how that works. So in this example, we're going to do 126 divided by 3. Our 126 is our dividend. That's the big number in the problem. And we are dividing by 3, which is called our divisor. So the number you divide by is your divisor. And as we've learned before, we're going to find our answer, which is called our quotient. When you divide, the answer you're finding is your quotient. So we want to know the quotient of 126 divided by 3. Right? So with traditional division, we're going to start with dividing. So you ask yourself, you start with this first number. Can 3 go into 1? So can I say 1 divided by 3? No, because 3 times something can't give me 1. 1 is too small of a number. So if the first number you're trying out is too small, you just go ahead and look at the first 2 numbers. So then I ask myself, well, can I divide 12 by 3? Yes, I know 3 can go into 12. So 12 divided by 3 is 4 times. So I divided 12 by 3. Check that off. My next step is to multiply. So now I'm going to say 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. So I'm going to subtract whatever that answer to my question is. So 4 times 3, what is that? That is 12. So I'm subtracting it. 2 minus 2 is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. So I subtracted. Now I want to check. Checking involves looking at this number you just got and making sure it's less than 3. If this is less than 3, then I'm good and I can bring my next number down. So when I bring my next number down, my next number in my dividend is 6, so I'm bringing it down. All right. I want to, that's the B part, that's the bring it down. So when I bring it down, I'm going to go over here and check it off. So now, guess what I do? I start back over. I want to divide, I want to look at this number. Can I take 6 and divide it by 3? Yes, I can. I know 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I divided. Now I want to multiply, but I'm only going to use the number I'm working with. So 2 times 3 is 6. So I multiplied. Now we're going to subtract. I want to subtract the answer I got from the last thing I brought down. 6 minus 6 is 0. All right, I want to check, make sure that's smaller than 3 to know I divided by the right thing or the right number. Yes, I did. And we're going to check to see if there's a number over here to bring down. There's nothing left in my dividend, so I'm finished. Once this number right here gets to 0 and there's nothing else to bring down, I'm done. And my quotient would be whatever number I have at the top when I get down to 0 here. Okay, so there was nothing else to bring down. I got 0. I'm finished. My quotient is 42. That means 126 divided by 3 equals 42. Another way I could look at that is 42 times 3 would give me 126. All right, because we know the opposite of division is multiplication. All right, let's try this practice problem. 214 divided by 2, right? I want to divide. That's my first step. I like to look at this first number. Can I say 2 divided by 2? 2 times what could give me 2? I know 1. 2 can go into 2 one time. So I divided. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now I have to multiply. I like putting a little multiplication symbol right here at the corner to remind me of that. 1 times 2 is 2. I multiplied. Now I want to subtract. I take that and subtract it from the other number I had started with. 2 minus 2 is 0. I always want to check and make sure that the number I get is smaller than 2. 0 is smaller than 2, so I'm okay there. All right, I checked it. I want to check to see if there's a number to bring down. I have a 1 there that I need to bring down. We only bring one number down at a time, so you don't bring the whole 14. You only bring the 1, okay? 2, can I take 1 and divide it by 2? No, I cannot because 1's too small. 2 cannot be multiplied by anything and give me 1. So I cannot do that. So that would be 0 times. I cannot do it. So 0 would be my place there. And I would say I brought my 1 down. I thought about dividing. I said, can I take 1 and divide it by 2? No, so I put 0. Check that off. Now I multiply. 0 times 2 is 0. Now I subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. Now I check. I'm checking to make sure that the answer I'm getting each time is smaller than my divisor. 1 is smaller than my divisor of 2, so I'm okay. I'm doing good. I'm on the right track. Now I need to bring down. Is there another number here to bring down? Yes, I can bring my 4 down now. So I'm going to put my 4 down there. Okay, brought that down. Now I start back over with my dividing. 14 divided by 2. Can I take 2 and multiply it by something to get 14? That's another way of thinking of that. 14 divided by 2 is 7. I can take 7 and multiply it by 2 because my next step is multiplying. 7 times 2 is 14, so that's where I multiplied. Now I need to subtract. So I'm going to take 14 minus 14, and I'm going to get 0. So I subtracted. I want to check to make sure the answer I got is smaller than my divisor. 0 is smaller than my divisor, so I'm good. I want to bring something down if there's anything left. Is there anything left? There's nothing left in my dividend, so I'm done. That lets me know I can't bring anything else down. I brought all my numbers down that I could bring down, and I got to 0, so that tells me I'm finished. So my answer, or my quotient to this problem, is 107. So if I wanted to check myself, guys, when I finish my division problem, I can say, well, I know 214 divided by 2 has to be 107. But I know the opposite of division is multiplication. So if I wanted to just double check, I could take my quotient, 107, and I can multiply it by my divisor. And I should get my dividend. 2 times 7 is 14. I'm going to carry my 1. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. And then 2 times 1 is 2. I got 214, so that lets me know I'm correct. As long as I get my dividend as my answer when I multiply, then it matches up, I'm good. All right, so you can always check yourself with division by using multiplication. So this again, guys, is your standard algorithm of division, or known as your traditional way of dividing. This is the way your parents and your teachers and your grandparents learned how to do it when they were in school. So if you need any extra help, I bet they are expertise at this strategy. So I'm sure they'd love to help you. But anyways, if you have further questions or you're still confused, please let your teacher know so they can try to help you beyond this video. Have a great day. Bye.